decided I hate the countdown when it's just me. I'm not a fan. Uh, Sorry about the screen. I wore a green shirt. You don't wear that when you got a green screen. It just doesn't make sense. So sorry about that. But welcome back to another episode of Politics. Thanks for joining me. Uh, Had last week off. Uh, Much needed off. Um, yeah. So I just want to jump right into it. I'm sure you guys. Michael Hayes, what's going on, man? I hope you're doing well as always. Yeah, I just want to jump right into it though. Um, I talk about you know, I want to say it's big news, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? It's the same normal, uh, police shooting, unarmed black guy or whatever, or harassing people of color. So it's the same story. You know, we all know it. We got trials going around all around the country. High profile, the Derek Chauvin case and all this stuff, man. Um, so I just want to click on get some of y'all opinions. Mike, you say you walking out? That's sweet, man. Hey, every time I see you, you be getting better and better. Uh, Keep up that good work, man. That good progress. That's I'm that's what's up, man, for sure. And tell your wife I said tell your wife I said what's up too. Um, so yeah, man. So I just want to give some of y'all opinions. Some of the stuff is all this stuff is in the news, but people are busy. I got lives. I completely understand it. Uh, just want to know what do you guys thoughts on some of this stuff, and not only that, but how do we solve it? How do we fix it? Any solutions? Any options? I've talked to a couple. I talked to my one and only police friend, and he got some strong thoughts and ideas too. So um, I don't know. I don't know. Let's start with the worst one to me, which is somebody losing their life, and then we can. I definitely will. I definitely tell her hi for you for sure. She should actually be in here soon. Um, let's start with the most egregious one, I suppose, and then we'll just go from there.
Around 2 p.m. local time Sunday, police pulled over Wright. The police chief says they stopped Dante Wright because he had an expired registration on his license plate. The release footage begins minutes into the stop and shows police walking up to the car, and then Wright is seen stepping out of his vehicle. Police then tried to take Wright into custody after discovering he has an outstanding warrant. The video shows Wright begins to resist as cuffs are placed on him and he gets back into the vehicle.
As I watch the video and listen to the officer's commands, it is my belief that the officer had the intention to deploy their taser, but instead shot Mr. Wright with a single bullet. This appears to me, from what I've viewed and the officer's reaction in distress immediately after, that this was an accidental discharge that resulted in the tragic death of Mr. Wright. The officer is currently on administrative leave.
Wright.
So I don't know. I don't know if y'all have ever held a taser, a stun gun of sort. I don't know if you guys ever held a gun. Um, but how do you make that mistake? Right, a gun weighs several pounds. The smallest gun weighs almost a pound at least. Taser maybe half of that, maybe 8 ounces roughly. They're bright yellow, bright orange, so you don't make these mistakes. Bright green, so you don't make those mistakes. Um, Most police departments make you carry opposite of your weapon, your gun, so that again you don't make that mistake. Um, how do you make that mistake, man? Like, this wasn't and this wasn't a rookie, right? This wasn't her first year. This wasn't her first day out on the on the beat. This is year 14 for her. Um, one of the guys that held down George Floyd, he was a rookie. I think that the black guy or mixed guy, whatever, he was a rookie. He was a guy that had been on the force months, right? So I'm not saying it's right. I mean, sooner or later your mental should kick in of like, hey, we holding this guy down for a long time, whatever. But it didn't happen, right? So if you want to say he's following his lead officer's commands or whatever, whatever, it's more believable. It's more of a thing, I suppose, to be understood for a rookie, not a 14-year veteran like on a police force, right? How does this happen? How does that happen? Um, so you hear on the video say, "Oh shit, I shot him," which is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it sounded like an accident. It very well might have been an accident, but that doesn't like you can't. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't mug somebody. You know what I'm saying? You can't uh I can't run somebody over my car and then when the police like what happened, I'm like, oh, it was an accident. You know what I'm saying? Like like oh shit, I ran him over. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't just do that. You know. Um, I just don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. So of course that kid died. I think it was 20 or 21 or something. As you see in the video, he drove away for a little bit, maybe I think it's that block or two, and hit another car, and like hit a light pole. And he died, right there on the scene. She shot him, you know what I'm saying, one time, so like I said, it very well could have been an accident. Absolutely. It sounded like it was an accident. Sounded like she didn't mean to do it, but I just don't know how you make that mistake. And then your it wasn't even an apology, but her letter that she tried to resign with was just like I think it's best. I think it's best for the department and for the community if I just resign. Like I don't, it's not that easy. That's not how it go. Um, Mike says stupidity. Yeah, stupidity is the only thing that I can. I just don't know. I just don't know how you do it. If you ever held a gun or a taser, like I just don't know how you do it. If you know for a fact, like most almost every police department, even their like they draw on their right side for their firearm and their less lethal is on their left every time. That means you use your left hand. And even in a tussle, like how do you not know that? How do you not have that muscle memory from being on the force for 14 years? Like you would think that if you were doing the same job for 14 years, not only would it be muscle memory, but you would know if you're doing the same job for 14 years, you know for a fact that this stack of paper, my paper clips is under this stack of paper because that's where I keep them that's where I have kept them for the last 14 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know my whatever is over there because I kept it there for the last 14 years. I do this every single day for the last 14 years. Like, how do you make that mistake? Um, I just don't know. I just know how you do it. Andy said terrible. It is. That dude died, right? Like he's over with. Um, and let me just say this: even if he was a criminal, I think they said he had he had a like a warrant, an outstanding warrant or something. I think the warrant actually even came from they sent him a request to show up for like court or something. They sent it to the wrong address, and the mail got sent back to the court. But in that time, he didn't show up, of course, because they sent it to the wrong address, and they issued a arrest warrant. Fine. even if he is a criminal, like just being a criminal does not mean that you deserve to die. Just being a criminal, like there's some criminal offenses where, of course, you probably deserve to die or the death penalty or whatever the case is. But just being a criminal does not allow police to kill you. Like that's not a death sentence. Being a criminal, I don't care what it was that he had did in that moment. He was unarmed, um, and like I just don't know. Chanel said, "You don't believe it was an accident." I, based off of what she's watching the video, listen to the video, I think it was an accident, but like I don't think she meant to shoot him. But at the same time, that's a mistake that you can't make. Like he's dead. Like, he's over with. Like he's out of here. Like I think it was a mistake, but that's a mistake that you can't make. And like I said, this wasn't a rookie. This was a 14-year veteran. This wasn't like a private citizen. You know what I'm saying? Somebody defending a house or something like that, and picked up the wrong thing. Like this is a police officer. Like you have training. You held to a higher standard. All that stuff. I think it was an accident. Her reaction, um, after the shooting, like oh shit, I shot him. Like that sounded all genuine to me. You know what I'm saying? But that's just stuff that you can't have though. Angel said, "You ever try to put the milk in the cupboard and the cereal in the no, no. I've never been that off. I'm sure I've done some things where I've had some overlap or whatever, where stuff could go in the refrigerator or the cupboard or the cabinets or whatever, and I've done one or the other. You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to high stress situations, no." Dennis Smith said, "I wish more people had an app with the instant call to an attorney. They continually shoot us for minor stuff. Man, time after time. Like, that's why I named the show regular, same old news. Like this stuff just keeps happening over and over and over. They do have some apps where once you get pulled over, you can you tap the app, it like turns on your camera or something like that, your front camera, sorry, your front camera or your rear camera, and starts recording audio. And I think it's like backed up to some cloud situation. So if you ever did need that information, you can. Um, I really can't remember the name of the app, but there are apps similar or like what I'm explaining to you. There are those type of apps, but um, nothing like that goes to an attorney or whatever. Because if you die, like how do people even get access? Like how do your family get access to it? To use in your defense. Like it's deplorable, man. Like honestly, for it just to keep happening over and over and over. Um, Dennis said, Mike, I think it's a good. I mean, I think this is something that got to be talked about. Dennis said they always say it's an accident. Yeah. Oh, so, trust me, we're gonna get to that too. 'Cause I got another example of another police officer like falsifying their reports. Saying stuff that don't back up with their own body camera footage says. You know what I'm saying? So if they're gonna lie, even when they're recording, you have no chance. You have no chance, man. Angel said police are supposed to protect you. Yeah, I mean it's written. It's literally written on the cards to protect and serve. Uh, that wasn't the case though. It's often not the case. Dennis says he was no threat. Yeah, he was running. He was running. Different day, same song. Just like me and my cop friend we was talking last night in regards to like the Walter Scott, which you guys don't remember because it's just so many examples. Walter Scott was uh, he was like he may or may not have got into a tussle with the cop. I don't remember. I remember him turning and running away from the police officer, and the cop shot him 3 or 4 times in his back while he's running away. Now, this is a 55-year-old man. It's not Usain Bolt that's going to outrun this cop. It's a 55-year-old man. They got shot, and the cop, of course, like, oh, he grabbed my taser and pointed it. I thought he was going to tase me and therefore open me up to all type of other stuff. Clearly, that wasn't the case. Once the cell phone footage came out of the cop or the guy turning around and running, it wasn't a threat. You know, at that point, the cop could have tased him, or if he didn't have to tase, go run and tase him. Like, you're a police officer, you're training for this. Like, go run and tase this guy. But no, he shot him in his back. Like, just that's what he do. That's what they do. Erica said, the stop should have never gotten to this point. Why did he have to step out of the car? Um, the recording that they released, the footage that they released happened just after he was already out of the car on the footage that they released. And they made him step out because I guess he had a warrant for his arrest, um, which is fine. That's understandable. Like, you had a warrant. Like, the police they got a job to do. I get it, right? But the point when you start running away, just like the guy in Atlanta that was at the fast food restaurant, and he uh, was he drunk or something, and like fell asleep in the drive-through or in the parking lot or something, and then he got into a fight with the cops and tried to run, and they like shot him or whatever, or he had a taser or something. They shot him. I don't remember exactly how it go. Um, but even in a situation like that, you got his car, you got his information, you got his address, like to like kill him right there. It just doesn't make sense to me. And this is the same way. You know who the kid is, you know his address, you got his car. You know what I'm saying? Like, so for him to be running away, he's no longer a threat in my book. But I'm also not a police officer, so I can't say. Um, Erica said that's why a lot of people don't call the police. That's why, man, plenty of people don't. And even now, trying to um, you guys got audio? Can y'all still hear me? If not, let me know. I switch mics. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure. My bad. Um, yeah, plenty of people. I mean, even for mental health stuff, like now they call like I can't remember what it's called. It's like you if like a step in between if you having people that having mental health issues. Um, and then if it goes past that, let's say the person with the issues is being violent or something, then of course the police come, and then that tends to escalate the situation. Very rarely, and it does happen sometimes, but very rarely are you privy to see a video where police are actually using de-escalation skills, when they're actually using verbal judo and their commands to actually walk down the situation. Very rarely. Um, Angel said, "Did you ever follow up on the military dude that got stopped and is suing?" That's coming up right next. Right next is how I'm gonna put it. Erica said, "Calling the police is the last resort for me." Chanel said, "Ditto." Yeah, it's not a like how can it be for us, for Black people, for people of color, um, like how can that be a viable option? The people that you pay your tax money to, like we all pay taxes, I hope, you know, whether you got a house or an apartment, um, if you're working, you're paying taxes to these people. They're here for your safety, for your in your community. This is what they're for, and for that to be your last resort, for you to call everybody except for the people who literally take an oath, who literally have protect and serve on their car door, like it's written. They when they walk and get in the car, every single you have to read it. You have to read it every single time, man. Mike said it was an accident. We are trained to fire two shots rapidly from a gun, one shot with a taser. Remember, I'm a former police officer. No, I get it. I do believe it was an accident. It's just certain. You just that's just a accident you can't really have though. I agree with you. I think it was an accident. Her reaction, everything that she said in the video, and then her reaction afterwards lead me to believe that it's an accident. But that's a deadly accident. Like, you know, and all I'm saying is that we uh, hold these people to a higher standard than your average home defender or your average. You know, in Ohio, they just passed it, or I'm sorry, not only did it pass a little bit ago, but the standard ground law has took effect into last Monday, I believe. So we'll talk about that at a later show. But even in a situation like that, where you have a defender with potentially no training. They have a gun or a taser or something to defend themselves. But like our police officer, we just gotta hold them to a higher standard, and not just in this situation, in all situations, man. That's their job, that's their profession. We have to hold them to a higher standard. Erica said, "I have a police family, so I can see both sides, but I'm a woman of color. Uh, that doesn't change." Yes, look, Erica, we done had this situation before with some of your family members. Uh, the Blue Lives Matter, all of that stuff. Like, yeah, you can be passionate as hell about your job, and you could love being a cop, and you could be fucking RoboCop. You know what I'm saying? But but at any time you want to, at any time you could say, I don't want to do this anymore. At any time you could say, I want to now be a school teacher. I want to now be a train conductor. I want to go get my pilot's license. I want to fly for so and so commercial airline. I want to, I just want to do something else, right? At any time. Now tell me how many times you can be like, I don't want to be black anymore. I'm just done. I'm done with this black. Hey, this black stuff ain't working out. I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? This being Hispanic thing ain't working out. It's too much pressure on me constantly. I'm done with it. I'd rather do something else. But how many times can you do that? How many times have you done that? I don't think it ever happened because it can't. Like that's one of the things that can happen. So that whole Blue Lives Matter, that stuff is absurd. You see when they stormed the Capitol, they didn't matter then, and just all this stuff. It's always like a condescending attitude when it comes to people of color and stuff. It just is. It is what it is. Angel said like a mediator. Yeah, it's actually like I want to call it. It's like first defenders or something. I don't know if it's a company or if it's like a government program or something, but they pretty much come out as like a crisis response team before the actual police get there. And then, like I said, when the police, I'm sorry, when the people get there, they go through whatever your counseling mediation steps is, and then if it escalates beyond that, like in a violent way or a physical manner, of course, then they call in the police, and then it escalates to a whole thing. So let me jump into the other video. I know I'm running low on time. We ran over on this one, but this one is just as egregious. Maybe not because nobody died, but still not good.
Tonight, 2 Windsor, Virginia police officers are being sued by an Army second lieutenant, claiming his rights were violated during a traffic stop captured on multiple cameras.
Felony traffic stop. Put your hands out the window!
Police body camera rolling as an officer attempts to stop in early December for a missing rear plate on the SUV. Army Second Lieutenant Karan Nazario behind the wheel, pulling over at a gas station 100 seconds later and starting his cell phone camera. He had picked a well-lit place to stop, his lawyer says, for safety. He does have a plate, a temp plate taped to the back window of his brand new car. But as seen on the video, the situation goes south quickly as a second officer arrives on the scene.
Put your hands out the window and turn the vehicle off!
More than 20 times they order him out of the car.
Get out of the car now!
Get out of the car!
Now!
I'm honestly afraid to get out.
Yeah, you should be. Get out!
You feel like your client had a reasonable right to fear for his life?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Officer Gutierrez kind of backs that up.
One of the officers pepper sprays Nazario and forcibly removes him from the SUV.
Get out of the car!
Nazario was released with no charges. Windsor police haven't responded to requests for comment. Nazario's attorney says his client is suing so that these incidents stop happening.
Now, Mike, you said that we all have made bad decisions in a split second. You're right. I agree with you. She's not perfect. I'm not perfect. We all have. You're absolutely right. We are held to a higher standard. Sometimes. Now, Mike, I'm definitely interested to hear your opinion on this because being a vet, being somebody that served and a police officer, I want your opinion on on your thoughts on this video. Andrew said the "you should be" quote. Man, so the video is kind of long, and I don't want to bore. Like they had like a 3 minute mashup of like the important parts, but I didn't want to bore you guys for 3 minutes. But so not only did he say the dude was like, I'm honestly scared. I'm like scared to get to grab reach for my seatbelt. I'm scared to do all this stuff, and the dude said you should be, of course. Yeah, that's not professional. Earlier in the video, he also said, "Yeah, you about to ride the lightning" or something like that. You know what I'm saying? As if he want to say something like, you know what I'm saying? He's already um, uh, like he's telling them, which I don't think that's professional either. But whatever, you say stuff. I've took classes where in the heat of the moment you say stuff that you're not even thinking about. But I don't know, that didn't seem like the guy had his hands out the window the whole time. He was talking calm to him. He didn't get out of the car. I don't think you don't you're not forced to get out of the car on a traffic stop. Like even if you are told to get out of the car, they they have to tell you why they pull you over. You know what I'm saying? Like the guy wasn't like people have rights, man. Like this has nothing to do with him even being in the army or whatever branch he was in. I don't even know. I think it was army. Uh, you got rights to know why you're being pulled over. You know what I'm saying? Like you have they have to tell you these things. All right, you're being detained because of this, and this. We're going to search your car because this, and it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have to tell me why you're doing this stuff. If you don't tell me why, like, I don't have, like, you're not going to comply with me. I don't have to comply with those orders without being told why. Like, those are my right. Like, you have to tell me why. That's why you think about cases that get thrown out because they don't even read people their Miranda rights or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that's just like you have to. That's stuff that you have to do as a police officer. You have to tell them. Erica said, "Oh, this was terrible. He's a officer in uniform. At this point, it has a lot to do with a certain ideology." Um, she said, "Training goes out the window, huh?" Look, I watched the video and I'm like, man, that's messed up. Like, you don't treat people that way. It had nothing to do with them being black or in the army. Like, man, you don't treat people that way. And then like I went to sleep and I woke up the next day like he was black or dark, whatever. Things like mixed black and Hispanic or something. And I'm like, but he was black in a brand new car. Like that's what it was. Like this was old school 1990s, 1980s uh, police harassment. I don't even want to call it racism, just straight police harassment of being a black person, a dark person, in a brand new car. Army Ranger or Lieutenant, uh, that doesn't matter when you're black. You're driving a new car. They said that the initial stop was because he didn't have his car didn't have a plate. Now I don't know. I mean, there's been a pandemic for the past year. I don't know how many cars I've seen with the paper that's taped to the back of the window, like the back of the inside window. So many cars without plates. I don't know why, to be honest. Like I don't know if everybody's getting monogram plates. I don't know the reason. But I've seen it countless times. And I'm not a police officer who's looking for this type of stuff. Um, I'm sure we all drive. I'm sure we've all been behind a car at nighttime with our headlights. The entire back of a car would be lit up with your headlights. And you telling me you can't see you can't see a white piece of paper. It's not a black piece of paper on a black window or something crazy. It's a white piece of you can actually see the tag on the body camera. And now look, these cameras and TVs are good. 1080p, 4K, all this stuff, right? Man, none of that stuff holds up to your human eye, your regular human eye, unless you wear glasses or whatever. But other than that, you should be able to see the entire scope of what's in front of you, right? Of what's on a window. You're a cop. You're looking for this stuff. You're looking for the tag. you're looking for the sticker, in Ohio. I know it's different in different states, but in Ohio, you're looking for a tiny 2x1 sticker that says your birthday or your birth month and the year that the sticker was expires in. And I know it's color coded and make it easier and all that stuff, but you're still looking at little stuff like that. So you telling me you can't see a little 1x2 rectangle, but I mean you can see that, but you can't see this piece of paper in the window for a tag. That's absurd. Then so that was the initial call. So the lieutenant drives to a gas station, a well lit area, because he's black, and that's probably what you should do. So that as people around, is lighting for the police body cam or the dash cam, so it's light so people can see. So if something happened, it can be seen, not on some dark side road where the footage is grainy and no one knows what's going on. Where it's dark, so the police can be like, "Oh, he got a gun," but it's really a cell phone, or it's really nothing. Shit, a wallet in some cases, the Philando Castile um, situation. Um, yeah, like so. I think they said 100 seconds, so just over a minute. Get there, and they immediately now it becomes a felony traffic stop because he drove for a minute with his blinkers on and pulled over at a well lit area. Uh, as you see, they pepper sprayed him, dragged him out, put him on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Of course, he was resisting because all this time they still never said why they was pulling him over. All this time they never said, they never gave him a warning about, we're going to pepper spray you if you don't do what we ask you. Of course, like I said earlier in the police report, he said that the guy he went to go pepper spray him, or I'm sorry, he went to go open the car door, but the lieutenant swatted his hands away, which that didn't happen, of course, on video. So you do all this stuff, get them out, get them handcuffed. More officers come. The situation is completely changed at this point. Um, Now they're starting to explain. Now they're starting to go through, what we were thinking. This is why this happened. If you would have just complied, it would never would have got to this point. Uh, why you didn't just get out of the car, like all this stuff, right? Then for the officer that pepper sprayed him, this is the kicker for me, says that I talked to the chief. He said, now, I should have pulled just this clip, man, because it's so unreal. He said that we uh, you have two choices. Like, this can go on your record. You know what I'm saying? We can arrest you, take you down to the station. It goes on your record, and then you can fight it out or whatever you want to do, or we can just let you go. This does not go on your record, um, and then you could just like kind of go about your business. Like, I'm not trying to convey you one way or the other, but as a citizen, these are the choices that you have. You know what I'm saying? It can go on your record, you know what I'm saying? I'm just, or we could just kind of, forget about it. That's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like as a regular citizen, like I don't know if I would get that treatment, or if you just know that you did something wrong, so you trying to cover your ass. Like I don't know, but that's absurd to me. Um, for like that conversation, that situation afterwards, was just kind of crazy to me. Um, so as you heard in the video, he gets released right there on the scene. Never got arrested. Released right there on the scene with a bottle of water for his eyes because they pepper sprayed him, and that was it. No charges, no anything, no record of this until it was requested a few months later by the lieutenant's attorney. That's crazy. Like that's absolutely crazy. So that's honor in the military. Like like I said, he was taking that part out, but this is how you treat people in the military. And the guy was like, "Oh, I served too. And I know how to follow directions and all this stuff, all this big macho machismo talk that he had going on, only for him to uh, uh, still feel like he was in the wrong." So even his report had lies in it. Because if you felt like he was doing right, then you wouldn't lie in your report. You would say, "This is what happened. This is what I did per policy XYZ. Like, but clearly that wasn't the case. Like, so just stuff like this, y'all, is just what I'm saying. The examples, just stuff like this over and over and over. Um, and look, a lot of people like it's not a race thing, it's a bad police thing, which I absolutely believe that it is. But also, where are the videos? Where are the videos? Where are the examples of this same stuff happening to our white counterparts? Right? Like, just where are the videos? Like, this is the age of the internet. This not the 60s and the 70s where you got three channels only. Like, your news is coming out of these outlets only. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether they dictate what they put out or not, that's a whole different story. But everybody got cameras. The internet exists. Getting information across the world, not just across the country, across the world in an instant is possible now. So if you wanted to say, some people are like, oh, it happened to white people too. It just don't, it's the media blowing it up. It's the media saying that, just trying to create a race division. Then where are the white people that also have video of white people being harassed in this manner? And uh, like, where are they? Why aren't they circulating on the internet? Even if it's not coming out of the major news networks, where is it? Or does it not actually happen to those same white people? Because if and when it does, it is an outrage. Um, the guy that got shot by police playing video games loud with his girlfriend, he got shot like in the doorway of his house. And that was huge, major news of a white police officer shooting a white guy who was armed, but they banged on his door, and he came outside with his gun behind him, and they shot him. Or the white guy, I don't remember the name, sorry, who was crawling on the floor at a hotel, trying to follow orders from two cops giving two different directions, and they shot him, killed him. Excuse me, killed him. When that stuff do happen, those videos are out there. But why aren't the videos of police officers accidentally shooting people or shooting white people? I seen a video last night. Got a guy on his ground, put him in handcuffs, and repeatedly just rubbing snow on his face. Like, he's face down, just rubbing snow on his face. Like, why? Where are those videos? That's all I'm saying. Angel said, I only remember one video of a white dude in a hotel got killed by cops. It's happening more so to people of color. I was just using that example. But that's what I'm saying. When stuff like, so it's not a race thing or a media trying to make it about race. Because when it happens to white people, that stuff is out there too. But it's not, the clip rate is now nowhere near the same. Nobody can tell me anything different. And if you got it, if you got the video, if you're the sole person with the video, send it to me, and I'll gladly make a show about it. I promise. All right, man. So I'm a little bit over time. I appreciate y'all joining me. Um, do us a favor, share the video, share this video, share our videos on Sundays. Just put it in a couple groups that you guys are in. Send it to a friend. Just repost it on your page, all that good stuff, because we're trying to beat this algorithm out here, and it comes in waves, and now it's a down wave. So we appreciate it if y'all can do anything you can do. Hit the share button for us. With that being said, I'm out of here. I appreciate y'all joining me once again. Looking forward to seeing y'all on Sunday. We got a good topic, some good stuff coming up as always. Salute to the city. I'm out of here. Stay safe.